Okay, so let's continue with the Hermetic journey. Now, when you're focusing on a meditation object, there's always going to be a part of you which is observing the object, a part of you that wishes or wants to stick to the object and identify with it and reference your own past experiences. Yeah, it's basically your astral body is sticky and wants to stick to it. Then there's obviously the object itself that you're concentrating on. What we want to do initially is dissolve the astral relationship to our meditation object. Our emotional memories, our feelings, our labeling system, we want to create a distinct separation between the observer and the observed. This is what allows psychic ability to function. If your astral body is being sticky between your awareness and the observed object, there's no intuitive flow. This is why Hermetics looks on developing magical equilibrium as part of its foundation, and that is all part of the astral training. Because when you neutralize your astral body, that stickiness dissolves, that goes in equanimity, then your mind can look at something and have a clear insight and understanding into what it's looking at. The intuitive flow is there. Mind and object, and the information is clean. If your astral body is not in equanimity and there's a stickiness, you'll automatically go into your own intellect of, this is this, this is this, this is that, and you'll start adding information into the flow. So Hermetics places a huge emphasis on magical equilibrium of the astral body to basically neutralize the astral body so that the spirit senses can communicate directly with the intelligence of the body consciousness, of the brain, of your awareness in this physical form. The astral body is your best friend and it's your worst enemy. It creates all the delusions of our experience. It taints what we're doing with emotional history, and it taints our experiences with those emotions, so they're not as clear as they could be. So how do we resolve this problem to get rid of the stickiness? First, we do the black-white mirror. Spend an extensive period of time, and this is a life exercise. Right through your life, you can be building new attachments all the time, and your personality can be morphing from one state into another. It's undergoing continuous change and evolution. Now, in the beginning, you may be identifying attachments within your personality of, I love this particular type of food, and it may be an unhealthy food, and you should be eating this. Over time, you may find yourself attached to extremely healthy foods, but nevertheless, it may still be an attachment. So demagnetizing your attachment to your habits allows you to move from an autopilot behavior into your intelligence going, is this a good idea? Your intuition feeling it out and going, is that a good idea? And making a different decision. So your black and white mirror allows you to identify things, practice the fundamentals of asceticism to release on those things, so your decision-making process changes and moves from an intellectual decision as it evolves into a more highly intuitive decision. The black-white mirror is your basics. Releasing is your next thing. Once you see those resistors that are getting in the way of your spiritual process and development, you want to be able to let them go. From there, we have different strategies within the Hermetic Framework of how to let go of things, how to be mindful of things in your day-to-day life as they arise, and how to manage them. Next, we have the elements, working with fire, air, water, and earth, developing each element individually, seeing which emotions come under that influence of that element, and then increasing the element to exceed the volume of energy that fuels that emotion, and then using alchemy to swing the pendulum from a negative state of that emotion into a positive state. The emotions that may appear negative can be extremely positive when you demagnetize the emotional content out of the energy. So a person who's very, very impatient to do something can be turned into a very powerful energy of getting things done. Because they're impatient, they want to do it now, they can put that into the now and get things done very, very, very fast. So it moves from a state of agitation to a state of high frequency of efficiency in doing things. So there's only small adjustments by using the fire and air principle inside the frequency of impatience turn it into a superpower of, yeah, I can do anything I want to do in life. And pairing all the emotions elementally allow you to make small tweaks within that emotional quirk that you have to make it a superpower, to be able to be highly productive inside your life. It also allows that energy to be more equanimous elementally. Willpower and focusing your mind on the fire element by nature is equanimous. There's a lot of stillness that accompanies a high frequency of will, where the negative fire element may have a sense of instability within it. So as soon as you put something into equanimity, the energy naturally expresses itself through its higher form, its universal qualities. So in Hermetics we have the four divine qualities of the spirit, and we're always raising the lower elemental emotions up to those qualities of spirit and mind. The next stage is recognizing the inherent emptiness of things. So within your meditation, you're observing an object, and there's a point at which the object will start to flux. It'll appear and disappear. As your mind gets more concentrated, you're accumulating akasha as a reflection of that concentration. If you increase concentration, you increase vacuity under the mind. The akasha increases. And if you're looking at an object, it'll start to flicker. It'll come in and out of form, and you'll start seeing straight through the object. That's accumulated akasha. Then when you take that sense of feeling of that accumulated akasha and you apply it to different aspects of your personality, you can literally vaporize negatives, apply that vacuity to them, and just suck them out of your system and let them go. You also develop an ability to look at your experiences from different perspectives. You look at it from a point of view of being totally still and just see it for what it is. You can look at it from a point of view of someone else's perspective, how it relates to you. You can look at it as a point of view of how that energy, that behavior radiates and affects other people. These stillness exercises change your perspectives, allows you to look at it from first person, second person, third person, from the perspective of physics, energy, and science. You can jump perspectives very easily because this increase of vacuity of the mental body generates what we call mental flexibility. It allows your mind to take on different perspectives and become highly flexible and experience different frequencies with greater ease. You go into the stillness, you rise within the meditation object of light, and you sense the light from stillness. Then you can vibrationally match it and have a spiritual experience. So as you're going through this progression of working with various levels of equanimity and letting go, you have a vibrational scale from types of relaxation and letting go of physical tension, through balancing emotions, through all those tools, to creating equanimity within the mind itself, and then exploring akasha, non-dual light, and seeing the fabric of the mind in its expression of non-dual light, where it originates from. These are all things that Hermetics puts a large amount of emphasis on, so that you can develop that fundamental skill of quietude. Everything is based on stillness. Every exercise you practice, you'll have the theory of the exercise, the action of the exercise, your mental, astral, physical relationship to the exercise, and it will accumulate stillness in some form underneath, because the universe is inherently empty. And when we pay more attention to the emptiness in the form, it allows us to dive into the emptiness and come up into the form to see our experiences for what they actually are, rather than what our astral body projects onto them. And this is really the heart of Hermetic practice. That's why we practice it. It's not for magical power, it's not for all these metaphysical skills per se, it's for liberation. Okay, we'll leave this video there. Thank you for your time, and see you on the next video.